Let's get this straight. I hate making videos about Doctor Who. And it's not because I don't love it, I adore it. I grew up on it. It shaped how I think, how I feel, how I see the universe. No, the problem is not the show. It's the fandom. It's for the snobbish, clannish, gatekeeping little echo chambers filled with people who think if you didn't grow up worshipping Tom Baker or quoting every line that Patrick Troughton ever uttered, or indeed knowing every line written in a Target novel, then for some reason your opinion on the matter just doesn't count. If that's you, then this video ain't for you. This one's for the real fans, the ones who grew up on it, who heard the theme tune on a Saturday night and it was like some sort of clarion call to them, or the ones like me who grew up with a few VHS tapes in the 90s, who then grew into adults and eagerly awaited every DVD release, the ones who saw Doctor Who not as homework but as magic. So if that's you, then you're home. This video is for you. Before I dive into the list though, please remember, as always, this is just my personal view, so don't be offended if your personal favourite doesn't make it into the video. Although saying that, I am fully prepared for some controversy. Just be gentle with me in the comments section. The 10th Planet, first broadcast in October 1966, is William Hartnell's final full adventure as the Doctor. Now, I will be honest, as a piece of television, it's patchy. The pacing is slow in places, the guest performances are hit and miss, and Hartnell himself, by this point, was visibly struggling. He was ill, he was exhausted, and he was left out of an entire episode. But none of that stops this becoming one of the most important stories in Doctor Who history, because this is the story where the show regenerates. Literally. It introduces two things that will become pillars of the show going forward. First, the Cybermen, not the stomping metallic tanks of the modern era. These are the original versions, cloth-faced with dead eyes, their voices flat, nasal, and almost sing-song-like. They're not sleek, they're disturbing, and honestly, out of all of the Cybermen that have come after them, I find these the creepiest. You look at them faces, all covered in bandages, and you can't help but ask yourself, what have they done to themselves underneath? Because that's the horror. They didn't start as monsters, they chose this. And the second thing that this story introduces, and this is the big one, it introduces the concept that the Doctor can change, that the same character can live on in a new body, with a new face. Let's not gloss over the fact that in 1966, no show had ever tried anything like this. It was revolutionary, bold, and quite frankly, mad. And in doing so, they created a show that could outlive its own cast and evolve with the times. The 10th Planet is not just a story, it is a pivot. It also kicks off the whole base under siege format that would define the next era. Remote outpost, tension, paranoia, an alien threat just beyond the walls. And for all of Hartnell's visible decline, when he's on screen, he owns it. There's a gravity in him, a sense of deep cosmic memory. The 10th Planet isn't perfect, but then it doesn't need to be, because it's where everything changes. Number 4, and this one is non-negotiable. You don't get Doctor Who without an Unearthly Child, and everybody and their mother knows that this was aired on November the 23rd, 1963, the day after President Kennedy was shot. The world's in shock, the future feels fragile, and there in the middle of it, the BBC aired An Unearthly Child, a story about a strange girl, a scrapyard, and a box that could travel in time. That first episode is still astonishing. Two teachers, Barbara and Ian, follow a strange girl from their school home, only to discover that she's living in a scrapyard. They meet an old man and push open the doors to a police box. Then everything changes. That reveal is hands down one of the most iconic moments in television history. This isn't just being clever, this is being deeply symbolic, and it's almost part of the manifesto for the show. this overlooked and forgotten object in a scrapyard that on the inside is infinite. It's saying to the viewer in no uncertain terms that in this show, well, watch yourself, because the extraordinary, well, that lives inside the ordinary, and this will be bigger than anything you could possibly imagine. And then there's the Doctor. This isn't the kindly old wizard that some fans like to pretend that he always was. He is arrogant, he is manipulative, he is cold. When a caveman threatens their escape, he picks up a rock, and if Ian hadn't have stopped him, he'd have stoved his head in. Let's be clear, this is a version of the Doctor that is ready to kill. And that's why it worked, because from the very first adventure, this isn't a show about safety. It's dangerous and it's complicated. Travelling with the Doctor will not be for the faint-hearted. Susan, as well in this story, is absolutely fascinating. She is far more than just some scream machine. She's a mystery. Now yes, the caveman episodes do slow things down a little bit, but they are far more than just filler. They are about politics, language, power, who leads, who follows, and just who gets to define what progress looks like. It's not balls to the wall exciting, but it's ambitious. And then there's the team. Ian, Barbara, Susan and the Doctor. They don't trust each other. They argue with each other. They challenge one another. This is not cosy. This is volatile. And it's what makes it real. This story is where it all begins. Not just the story of a time traveller, but the idea that British sci-fi could be weird, moral, political and mythic all at once. Right, the Keys of Marinus. Now, yous lot weren't expecting this, and I guarantee you now there's some real hardcore fans out there that like to forget this one exists. But for me, this is just a glorious batshit experiment. First aired in 1964 and written by Terry Nation, who had just given us the Daleks. This was his anything but the Daleks follow-up. And what does he give us? Well, a 6-part anthology, all stitched together by his sheer nerve and bravado. Each episode falls into a different genre. We get an episode involving mind control and a utopia where people smile too much, a deadly jungle that's trying to eat ya, a frozen temple, a courtroom drama with zero logic, a booby-trapped maze, and a final twist that undercuts the entire quest that you just watched. It's like they gave Terry Nation a dartboard and an hangover and was just like, yeah, go and write something. And he did. Now, it is messy, like absolutely. The Vord, for instance, the rubber helmeted, wetsuit wearing villains. Well, they do look pretty naff. The sets wobble, the tone veers wildly, the pacing is so off that sometimes it feels like the editor fell asleep. But you know what? It's ambitious. This is the show running at full pelt through every idea it can come up with, because this is Doctor Who before the rules, before continuity, before safe bets. And that's what I love about it. I also love the fact that Barbara gets loads to do in this story. Ian gets lots more action hero stuff to do. Susan, well, she gets shafted yet again, but even she has moments where the show tries to let her act and think like a real person. And the Doctor, well, Hartnell's in and out. He literally took a week off work while they were filming it, hence the fact that he ain't there for most of Ian's trial. But when he's around, he reminds you of just why the character works so well. He is sharp, he is sarcastic, and more than a little bit disdainful of everybody. He is not the come here and give me a hug kind of Doctor. He's more of the figure it out yourself, I'm over here solving time Doctor. And I love it when the Doctor is like that. But here's the thing though. This story proves the point that, well, it's the format that's the star, not the tech or the monsters, sometimes not even the Doctor. You never know where you're going to land next, who you're going to meet next, what kind of story you're going to be part of next. That is real science fiction. And the Keys of Marinus, despite its faults, in fact maybe because of them, understands this the best. Now we need to talk about the War Machines. First broadcast in June of 1966, and this is William Hartnell's last fully surviving adventure. And it's easily one of the most important because, well, this is where it all changes. Not just the setting, not just the villain, the show itself. We're not on Skaro or ancient Rome, we're in London. And we're right here and we're right now. And the threat, it's not some alien blob in a quarry, it's Wotan, a computer, a machine built by us, using our logic, turning that logic against us. Wotan doesn't exterminate, it doesn't enslave us with ray guns, it convinces, it hypnotises you, it turns people into unthinking drones that it uses to build even more machines. It doesn't scream, obey, it just calmly sits there asserting that Doctor Who is required. Yeah, they actually call him that in the show. It's like the only time they ever say it. This is the BBC in 1966 saying, we are building machines we don't understand and they will not care about us. Forget the Daleks, forget Cybermen, this is proto-cyberpunk, made in black and white and on a BBC budget. And this story works because the fear is real. For the first time we was building machines that didn't need us and certainly wouldn't listen to us when we was begging. This story is the prototype for the Terminator, with machines building machines and human labour turned against itself. And one man stood between us and complete annihilation, armed with nothing but his brains. The real story here though isn't Wotan, it's the Doctor. Because this is the first time that he walks in on a human crisis and becomes part of the solution on purpose. He's not just passing through and stumbles into the mess. He arrives in London and senses that something is deeply wrong at the post office tower. And without waiting for any permission, he takes control. And what's wild is, the authorities listen to him. He is no longer just some alien observer. This is a protector. This is a presence. This is where the modern Doctor was born. You can draw a clear line from here to Spearhead from Space to the Christmas invasion, and the Doctor stood there alone on a rooftop warning them off. So this was Hartnell's third to last story, and it is the final complete story of his in the archive. And he just owns it. He is sharp, he is commanding, he's cool. It's like he knew this was part of his final bout and he weren't going to waste a second. So we are here at our number one spot, and let's not beat about the bush. You knew exactly what it was going to be from the minute you clicked on the video. It could only possibly be the Dalek invasion of Earth. And since there's been like a million videos about this one already, I'm just going to stick to telling you why it's my personal favourite. The Daleks are back, and this time not on Skaro, but here. London is in ruins. The Earth has fallen. It's invasion fiction, written by people that remembered the Blitz, Robo-men, resistance fighters, collaborators. It's Orwell, it's post-war trauma. It's Doctor Who goes full-on war film. And it's Barbara driving a lorry through a squad of Daleks. Forget about all your Chibnall era speeches, that's how you do empowerment. But then there's Susan. Her story ends here. She falls in love. She grows up. And the Doctor locks her out of the TARDIS. Not because he doesn't love her, but because he does. And then comes the speech.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
It's not just a goodbye to Susan. It's a goodbye to childhood, a goodbye to innocence. It's a goodbye to that era of the show. And to me at least, that's where the Doctor achieves mythic status. And that's why it's my number one. I need to talk to you a minute about just who the first Doctor is. Because Hartnell's Doctor isn't the hug you at the end Doctor. He's not charming, he's not soft, he's bloody difficult. To begin with, he lies, he manipulates, he nearly kills that caveman. He is unapologetically alien, but beneath it all, he is deeply human. This is a man running away from all his responsibilities, but he's slowly learning to care, and that's what makes him real. He isn't the saviour from the start, he's becoming the Doctor. And you see the amount of work it takes. You see him challenged, you see him wrong, you see him grow. And that growth is everything. Because this was 1963, and it was a show made in the rubble of post-war Britain. There was no gods, there was no superheroes, just ordinary people trying to be better than the people they were the day before. That's what Hartnell's Doctor represents. Not perfection, not clever quips, not sonic screwdrivers. He is grit, he is dignity, he is hard-won compassion. He's the bloke that never says I love you, but will still risk absolutely everything for you. And if you ever had a granddad or a dad or a teacher that scared the life out of you, but also shaped who you became, that is this Doctor. He's not the one that hugs you, but he is the one that at the very end turns around to you and says this: you are ready now. Before we wrap up though, I'm going to try and make this video a little bit evergreen. A video that holds up no matter how old it is. In Doctor Who fandom, there is nothing better for that than gossiping about who is going to be the next Doctor. Because let's be honest, every time an actor gets cast, there are rumours that they're going to leave by Christmas. The speculation machine never stops. So rather than chase rumours, let me plant a flag. Here is who I think should be the next Doctor. And I feel that it should be none other than Adrian Edmondson. And no, I'm not saying this just for shock value. I really mean it. And why? Because, well, there's loads of reasons why. Firstly, there's his physicality. Edmondson can move, and I mean really move. Go back and watch anything he's ever been in and see the kind of chaos he can unleash with just like a raised eyebrow or like a flying headbutt or something. He brings energy to the screen, the kind of energy that fizzes, and yet he can downshift into stillness when it counts. Secondly, there's his range. He's known for comedy for sure, but he has delivered some pretty weighty performances. Just look at his performance portraying Valery Legazov, a haunted, self-loathing scientist, wrestling with all that truth and responsibility he bears. He knows how to dig into a role and really pull something out of it. But most of all, there's the danger. Remember when Peter Capaldi took on the role? And there was always that danger that at any moment now he was going to drop into some sort of Malcolm Tucker-esque rant. It never quite arrived, but we got some pretty witty quips out of him. Now imagine that danger turned up to 11. Edmondson wouldn't just suggest danger, he would carry it in his very posture. You would genuinely believe it, deep down in your gut, that this will be the Doctor that will finally biff Davros in the face with a frying pan or something. And like, not even break his stride. And that's the thing, innit? Because the Doctor, well, he does need a little bit of a jolt, doesn't he? It needs an actor whose face tells stories, whose voice carries storms, and whose performances come with history baked into them. Edmondson would be a Doctor with a glint in his eye and a whole lifetime in his bones. A Doctor with nothing to prove, but everything to protect. And hey, this is just my personal view. You don't have to agree, but if you've got a better pick, well, you know where the comment section is. So, there you have it. My top 5 First Doctor adventures. It's not a definitive list, it is just my personal view. And I would love to hear your personal top 5s. Let me know in the comments section. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And I hate being this guy, but please hit the old notifications bell as well, because it really helps the channel out in the old algorithm.
It sounds like the